Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrissy Hodges, and I'm so glad to be back. It's been a few weeks. I've been traveling. I was international for about a week and a half, and my goal was to do a video while I was in London, and yeah, that didn't happen. So here I am, and to make up for it, I'm going to try to do several videos in the upcoming week because I missed a couple weeks. But I've just had so many topics come up in group and in meeting with people and even in traveling that I really want to address. So I'm super excited to be back. Welcome to the channel. I am a mental health advocate, particularly OCD, Pure O, which is also the name of my memoir, talking about my life living with OCD and then getting treatment. I'm also a certified peer support specialist, working with people all around the world in supporting them toward recovery in whatever stage of recovery you're in. And we can provide referrals to therapists who treat OCD effectively worldwide. If you are looking for treatment in OCD, is an app, but they also provide telehealth. I believe they're worldwide, but check them out at treatmyocd.com. You can click right in there and go into assessment if you are looking for treatment right now and you don't know any providers in your area. So I just wanted to do a video. This is kind of the follow-up to traveling and something that came up for me. Let's just be real. I went on a 9-day trip. It was work, and I mixed a little bit of fun in there. I was able to go back to Georgia, where one of my best friends lives. So I was able to see her, and so I stopped over there to kind of break the trip up to get over to London because I don't necessarily have fears of flying, but I'm going to be honest, travel has just, I used to love traveling, even though I would get some anxiety, but since COVID and getting out of the routine of traveling, I was terrified. And it was an anxiety that I felt that felt out of control. I couldn't ERP it. I really couldn't. I couldn't reconcile any sort of logical reasoning out of it. I just knew I felt this sheer terror, which then turned into magical thinking, right? Well, if you have this much fear, then what if something bad happens, or what if you die? I started to have these intrusive thoughts before I was leaving that, what if I never see my dog again? What if, I never set foot in my house again? Kind of normal fears, but for me, they felt out of control. There was one day, it was about 4 days before I was leaving, and I was down in Denver and I was driving around, and I became so overcome with panic about thinking about being on that plane for 9 hours and navigating, traveling and this and that. And there wasn't anything really particular. It just was sheer panic. And I had to pull the car over and just sit for a minute and just think, okay, Chrissy, you got to get your shit together. I mean, you have to go. The trip is paid for. You can't let people down, because I was going to speak at a conference there, and then we also had this great event planned, which, by the way, if y'all were there, it was so good to see you. I can't wait to be back in October and see you again. So I had to I started thinking of ways to lose my passport and how to Google how to get out of international travel. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually, but and the reason I'm telling you this story is this. It seems like I'm shifting gears, but I'm not. I have become increasingly frustrated and irritated at the OCD taglines that you see all over the place. It's kind of like the, positive quotes that, but if you have like severe trauma, there's no positive quote that's going to help you deal with your like past trauma. But people get wrapped up in the positive and whatever. And you can disagree with me on this too, and it's totally fine. I'm just telling you my perspective. I'm getting increasingly frustrated with these, with social media and people talking about OCD, and they just tout these taglines of, I'm not going to say any of them in particular. I'm sure you know it. And people who see that latch on to the taglines of, oh, just do this, or say this back to your OCD, or yada, yada, yada. It's so frustrating to me. I think it's great if it's helped you, but taglines are not therapy. And taglines are sometimes just a way of posting, which it irritates me too, because we're really talking about people's mental health. And also, a lot of times taglines don't work for taboo themes. Let's just get it out there. They don't. I mean, I'm just going to use one for example, the maybe, maybe not. Great if that works for you. And a lot of times I use that in the form of looking at the ambiguity of the word maybe and applying it to things. But most people with like POCD can't maybe or maybe not being a pedophile. Like at the end of the day, that little tagline is not going to help that theme, right? So I just sometimes I become kind of frustrated with that. And so again, kind of back to my story, one of the taglines I've always heard that has felt frustrating to me, but I actually had to apply it on this trip was feel the fear, but do what you have to do anyway. I don't know how people say it, but like it's almost like embrace the anxiety, but do the scary thing anyway. I know that is not a tagline. It is the way of life for OCD. And often we are in situations when we're stuck with intrusive thoughts of feeling like we can't do things because the intrusive thoughts are saying that we can't, or that the sheer terror and fear produced by the thoughts will say that we can't do it. And what I always tell people in peer support is, yes, you can, you're choosing not to do it. And again, the agency there is that you can make the choice. So you can choose to not do something because of fear, or you can choose to do it, but know that you're still going to be feeling that fear. So I had to do that. After I pulled over that day in the car, I had to tell myself, Chrissy, you're going to start looking for every way to get out of this, but you have to feel this fear all the way through and still go through with it despite the consequences. Meaning, maybe something bad is going to happen. Maybe the plane will crash. Maybe I won't ever come home again. But, I didn't even really know what I was afraid of. I was just afraid. So I kind of embraced this. You've got to get so this is my tagline, but I'm not going to be using it on, I don't expect you to use it in your recovery, but I use this a lot and it became really helpful. You've got to get as comfortable as you can, knowing this trip is going to push you beyond your limits of fear that you have not felt in a really long time. And you're going to have to move forward and feel the fear anyway. Gosh, and I was just pissed. I was sad on the way to the airport. Bless her, from the flight to Atlanta to London. My friend Sarah took me to the airport, and I mean the whole time, like my brain was going, "You're never gonna see these trees again. You're never gonna see her again. You're never gonna see your best friend Margaret again. You're never, And we got out of the car, and I started crying. It was that scary for me. And I am someone that really loves to travel and is just out of practice, I hope, fingers crossed. So I just committed. I doubled down on the fear and committed. Okay, we're just going to go for it. And this is going to be a hard 15 plus hours of travel. And I did it. And then I got there. And of course, as the trip back started to approach, I started to feel that fear again, and I just said, I'm gonna have to get as comfortable as I can, knowing that this is going to be hard. And to be honest with you, it's like when I got back to Georgia, and I spent the night one night there again, kind of to break the trip up to get back to Colorado, I had this weird sense of accomplishment. Like, I did this. Despite the fact that I was looking for every reason to get out of it, I did it. And it was hard at times. There were, y'all, on the flight back to back to America, a few things happened to Secession. I'm not even going to tell you what they are, but they were like omens, like bad omens. And they started happening as soon as I got to the London airport, including I forgot my purse at Stu's house. Stu drove me to the airport, and my purse had passport, everything in it, and I had to take a COVID test to get on the plane, and I didn't have my ID or anything, and so he was like, I have to drive home and get your purse. I'll be back. Bless him, by the way. Love you, Stu. You were the best. Saved me. But that and a few other things happened, and my magical thinking went nuts. It was like, Chrissy, see, this is number 1, this is number 2, and then number 3, something else happened, and I was just like, you know what? If something bad happens, I'll deal with it then, or I'll just die. Really, I had to just tell myself that. I might just die, and at least I know I did something really tough in the face of fear. So I know that this seems really dramatic, but I just wanted to give you, I actually just wanted you to hear that some of these things that may be really easy for some people, and this is what I was telling my friend Sarah on the way to the airport. What normal person is in the car basically crying and having severe anxiety when they're about to fly internationally? I was sitting by people on the flight. They were so excited. They couldn't wait to get there. And I'm like white knuckling. Like, please don't let me look out the window. I don't want to see the ocean. But I felt this sadness. I felt this unfairness. Why does it have to be this way? Why can't I just be excited about going? Why does everything have to get in the way? And then when I get there and it was this, yes, I'm here, and I had a great time. Oh my gosh, I loved seeing all of you that I got to see. But then the fear started again. And I just thought, why? Because lots of times people are excited. I was so excited about going home, but it was just this barrier in between that was so frightening to me. So I wanted to share that with you in case you're struggling, or if you have struggled, or this is something you struggle with and you just feel like, wow, this is sometimes not fair. And also, I wanted to show that when we really live with OCD and we adopt kind of the philosophy of sometimes the fear is going to be there, but you have to live life anyway. You have to do things anyway, and that agency is there, and it is the choice. It can be like what I just went through. It can be hard, but I did it. I faced it head on. I got home in one piece. There were many things along the way that did not go the way that they should have. And you know what? In the face of it, I actually was just calm, and let's one step at a time. Whatever's next, we'll figure that out too. So just some words of encouragement. I just want you to know I'm so happy to be home. I've never been so excited to be in my house and to have accomplished something that I was so utterly terrified of. I've not experienced that kind of just terror in a long time. And I also want you to know, if I can do these things, you can do these things. We are no different. Fear is fear. And this is what we do, and this is how we manage and get better. We allow the fear to be there. We feel the fear and take hard steps forward to do the things that are important to us, or that we even just have to do. I had to go on the trip. I hope that helps you today or this weekend or whenever you revisit this, if you need some words of encouragement. I have missed you. I've missed being here. I'll be back early next week. I think I can't remember what I was going to talk about. I have it written down somewhere, but it's a really good topic. Oh, it's the feeling a loss of identity when we get really bogged down in our intrusive thoughts. So I'm really excited to talk about that one, and I think that you'll really like it too. So I'll see you then. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, and my website is chrissyhodges.com. I suck at promotion.